Everyone, before anything else, my name is Christian Babao. We are here to discuss with you with my colleague Adeline Alfonso and Jenny Onto to discuss the cognitive developments of infants and toddlers. So just to have a really quick recap, this is John Piaget's theory. We all know that John Piaget's theory has four stages, right? Sensory motor, pre-operational, formal, and concrete. But for this one, since we are mostly talking about the cognitive developments of infants and toddlers, we'll be focusing on the sensory motor, since the sensory motor stage is the one that is responsible for um, its development. So we have our objectives here to help us understand more about this certain topic. So, by the help of this objective, we can understand more of this issue. This is first, to know the importance of cognitive developments of infants and toddlers. Find out what are the factors that affects infants and enhance cognitive development in this stage, and to know and understand the substages of cognitive developments of infant and toddlers. So, let's start.
Cognitive development means configuring and learning the stage of children, like how they think on early stages, and it also includes their language, exploration, and communication. It is the development of knowledge, skills, problem solving, and dispositions. The importance of cognitive development into infant and toddlers is that it can help children to think about and understand the world around them. Cognitive development can impact the experience of a child every day. It can also encompasses a child where the importance of cognitive development into infant and toddlers is that it can help children to think about and understand the world around them. Cognitive development can impact the experience of a child experience every day. Ayan. The importance of cognitive development into infant and toddlers is that it can help children to think about and understand the world around them. Cognitive development can impact the experience of a child every day. It can also encompasses a child's working memory, attention, as well as child's ability to manage and respond to the information they experience on a daily basis.
Good afternoon, I am Adelian L. Alfonso. So here are the factors that affects and enhance infants and toddlers' cognitive development. What are the factors that affect cognitive development of infants and toddlers? The risk factors and interventions influencing cognitive development in children can be divided into three domains: nutrition, environment, and maternal-child interactions. So let's talk about the nutrition. It is the children whose brains are rapidly development need a nutrient-dense diet to help them as they process the world around them. Without the right nutrients, toddlers might struggle to develop the skills to maintain concentration, which becomes increasingly important as they get older. If the children don't have the proper nutrition that they needed, then as they grow older, they lack and can slow physical and mental development for their lives. A nutrient dense may contain protein like meat, eggs, and seafoods, fruits, vegetables, grains, and dairies. The environment plays a critical role in the development of children, and it represents the sum total of physical and psychological stimulation that children receives. It is easy to understand that a well-nurtured child does better than a deprived one. Some of the environmental influence the early childhood development involves the surrounding and conditions of the place the child lives in. For example, the environment you are living is healthy and active, so probably the child in the future will nurture the way it behaves. And also, a good school and loving family builds children's strong social and interpersonal skills, which enable them excel in other areas such as academically and extracurricular activities. And of course, this is also different from a child who's raised in stressful environments. A maternal-child interaction. The parent-child interactions provide primary social learning. Context from infancy. A variety of social, cognitive, and socio-emotional processes such as emotion, regulation, and recognition. Referencing, gaze following, gesturing, and communication are first evident in parent-child interaction because it is essential to the relationship and development. So, how can they develop and enhance it? They learn through cuddling with caregiver, listening to language, experimenting with sounds, moving their bodies, reaching for objects, tasting foods, and exploring their environments. Their brains go through amazing changes during the first 3 years of life. Children are always learning, experimenting, and thinking when they play. Playing with your toddlers is very beneficial for their cognitive development. Playing together strengthens your friendship and conveys a straightforward but vital message that you are important to me. So a good communication involves listening and talking in ways that make child feel important and valued. When they are having their best day, motivate them by saying you did well, that's nice, something that will make their heart flutter in happiness. Communicating well with children helps them develop skills for communicating with others. They have confidence to make friends with everyone, recite in front of the classes, and able to show their opinions.
So now we have here the sensory motor stages. So just like what I've said earlier, there are four stages on cognitive theory of Johannes Piaget, but let's focus on sensory motor. Since sensory motor is the one that is taking place on the development of the infant and toddlers, it is responsible for their development since by this age, infants and toddlers rely mostly on their sensory motor to learn and develop such things in this world. So we have here simple reflexes, primary circular reaction, secondary circular reaction, and then the next three, we'll discuss that one later. But for now, let's first focus on the simple reflexes and these three things. So simple reflexes, the first substage. This is the first month life, the stage of reflex act. The nutate respond to external stimulation with innate reflex action. So by this stage, the children or infant or toddlers rely mostly on their reflex to learn and understand the world around them. For example, if you brush a baby's mouth or cheek using your finger, it will suck it reflexively. So that means that he is not doing it on purpose. That means that he is he's just relying on his reflex or her reflex to react on your action. That means that he is not doing that one purposely or intentionally. Just like when you try to put your finger on his hand, he will hold it right away because he is just basing on his reflex. Second is the primary circular reaction. The second substage is the stage of primary circular reaction. The baby will repeat pleasurable action centered on its own body. So, for example, babies from 1 to 4 months will wiggle their fingers, kick their legs, and suck their thumbs. These are not reflex action. They are not. They are done intentionally for the sake of pleasurable stimulation produced. So, by that being said, that means that they are doing this one on purpose to gain pleasure, but not like purpose like they're doing this one to hurt someone, um, to cause something negative, but they are doing this one to understand more the world around them. That means that they are trying to develop their sense of touch. So the third one is the secondary circular reaction. Next comes the stage of circular reaction. It typically lasts from about 4 to 8 months. Now babies repeat pleasurable action that involves object as well as action involving their own skill by involving objects. So the last one of the symbolic thought. Finally, in substage 6, there is the beginning of symbolic thought. This is transitional to the pre-operational stage of cognitive development. Babies can now form mental representation of objects. This means that they have developed the ability to visualize things that are not physically present. This is crucial to the acquisition of object permanence, the most fundamental achievement of the whole sensory motor stage. So, and by this stage, this is like the ending for the sensory motor and the starting for the pre-operational. So, on this symbolic thought, he is putting an imaginary self of his on a different situation. Let's set, for instance, a children is playing dirt to make food. Children imagine themselves to be other people or animals using drawing, writing, singing, and talking. For instance, you are witnessing a child trying to roar or um, or imitating the sound of other animals is because he is imagining himself as that animals. He is starting to develop symbolic thought. He is starting to put himself on another shoes. That means that he is starting to play. He is starting to develop cognitive thinking by simply imagining himself on another situation, just like what we did when we were way back young. We were very naive. We tried to make the leave as a money to buy some things, just like those stuff. We are trying to imagine that those leave are money. Okay, so now we have the language development. So on this stage, we will be talking about how they create their own verbatim using their own language. So we have here cooing, bubbling, one-word utterances, two-word utterances. So cooing is a single syllable open vowel and sounds like ah or oo. So it's like like those stuff. So it's mostly when they are really young, really infant. So they can't talk, but using this one, they are starting to express themselves, making their own verbatim. We may not understand it, but they are making their own verbatim by this time using coding. So I have here bubbling when your child is playing around different speech sound, bubble, like those stuff. So bubbling like bubba, bubba, mama, mama, like those stuff. Like that's the most easiest to explain the bubbling. So using this bubbling, he can create his own verbatim, but we mean yeah, just like what I've said earlier, we may not understand it, but he is doing it on purpose to express himself. So one word utterances, and this one he is trying to say something, but he can only say a word, just like play, go, just one word. So we have here two word utterances. So from its word two word utterances, he can only use two words to express himself, like go play, go outside, mama stop, like those stuff, like those stuff. So using this, he are starting to express himself in order for the surrounding to understand him. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for spending your time along with me to understand the cognitive development of infants and toddlers. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Once again, my name is Christian Babao, here with my colleagues Adialyn Alfonso and Jenny Rosanto. Goodbye for now. Have a wonderful day.